cousin, Lisa Loring, and Ronnie Loring, and we're here today to share our story of my sister, Ashley Loring, HeavyRunner, and Matthew Grant. They're from Browning, Montana. It's on the Blackfeet Reservation. Ashley is my little sister. She went missing on June 8, 2017. The last time I spoke to my sister was on June 6th. When she went missing, the law enforcement kept saying for 2 months that he was just an attempt to contact. And that was way later after we kept getting tips that Ashley was murdered and she was placed in the Rocky Mountains by Glacier National Park. And the first search, they said that Ashley was running from a vehicle up in the mountains. And that's when we did that search. It was on June 26th we did that search. And, it was really hot that day. I remember that. But they said that she was last seen by mountain. And that's in Montana where it's just all mountain front and for the plains and it's just packed with grizzly bears and mountain lions. And we went to search that area for the past 23 months because in June, Ashley would be missing for 2 years. And during that time since Ashley has been missing, we found out that the law enforcement that was working on Ashley's case was also involved with the suspects that, let's be honest, that really hurt my sister. And by those suspects being involved with the law enforcement, they found a way for our family not to find my sister. 2 years it has been. The lead investigator was with this woman as well as one of the officers that was working on Ashley's case. And during the first month that Ashley went missing, we found a sweater that was from a tip saying that this woman last seen Ashley wearing this gray sweater. It was a Roxy sweater. And we found it during a search. And it had holes and it had blood stains on it and it had everything that went with the tip that we received. And we had it turned over to the law enforcement. And 15 months, we weren't able to find that sweater. And on the 12th of December of last year, our family went and spoke at this hearing in Congress. And they had the FBI and the BIA and the Department of Justice also at the hearing, and we shared her story, and we shared how these officers were involved in the case as well as we weren't able to find this sweater. And then after we finished that hearing, we spoke with the head man of BIA. They found that sweater within one phone call, and they said that yes, the sweater was misplaced for 15 months. It was like they didn't want us to find my sister, but our family has been searching and talking to news stations as well as senators of our state in Montana that are helping to find Ashley. Sorry, it's crazy how I'm still talking about this for 2 years. I was kind of hoping that when we talk about Ashley's story, she would be beside me, so it's kind of hard to find. Ashley is amazing. Ashley's now 22 years old, and we're still searching for my sister, and I'm starting to get emotional about her. And this is Matthew Grant. Matthew Grant went missing in 2016 in December. And he was only in Browning for 3 days when he went missing. And 3 weeks later, on New Year's Eve, they found his body. And but yet, they're still searching for who killed Matthew. It's a really sad story because Matthew was a great person as well, and he was waiting for his baby to be born, but sadly that didn't happen, and that's why we always like to share his story, because Matthew is important, as well as Ashley. Their stories are very important. That's why we always want to share their stories at these events and stuff, because their stories are not unique. If you go to every tribe in Montana, somebody would have a loved one that is still missing, or that have been murdered with no justice. But yeah, my sister, she's very funny. She's so she's only 5'2", she weighs 90 pounds. And if you ever get to see Ashley, I think you would always remember her, because she had that smile that was just amazing, and her laugh and the way that she wanted to help people. And when she was in high school, she wrote this essay about missing and murdered Native girls and women. But by Ashley going missing and us making sure that everyone owes her name with her story, it also helped find other women who have been by sharing Ashley's story. It really helped other families, and that's why we keep sharing her story as well. And it's so painful, but our pain is our strength now. And if we keep telling her story, it's like she's still here. So if you remember Ashley's name, her name is Ashley Lauren HeavyRunner. If you look on Facebook, you'll find a lot of stuff about her, about what we have done for her. If you look on YouTube, there's a lot of short films about Ashley, and it will tell her whole story and all the stats, everything. But please always remember Ashley's name as well as Matthew Grant's.
Hi everybody, I'm Lynn Loring. I want to thank Linda Looking and Cedar. They always make sure that they help us get Ashley and Matthew out there. I want to thank you guys for that. We also want to share that we also have a thing going called Ashley's Project, where it's to help with the missing and murdered Indigenous women and men. Whenever somebody goes missing, we try to get their posters out as soon as possible. It's something that we started doing last August. And, if you guys have a missing and murdered loved one from, I don't care how far back it goes, you guys can let us know. We'll redo a poster for them so nobody forgets. We're going to be doing Ashley's Walk on June 8th in Browning, Montana. So if you guys know anybody who could attend, please let them know. On June 7th, we will be going live. We're going to have a lot of media coverage there. That's why we're trying to get families to join in with us. Families of missing and murdered, or anybody trying to raise awareness for the crisis that we have going on. Because lately it seems that it has only picking up, like there's more people going missing and younger at that. Which, I look at her every day or look at, all the little ones and, we need to stop it before it reaches their generation. We need to try to get a hold of this, whatever is going on. And, we need to try to stop the corruption of the police. Like Kimberly was saying, there was an officer that was having relations with the main suspect in Ashley's case, telling them where we were searching, what we found, sending them pictures of what we found. The BIA officer, he was telling us he was going to question the people with leads. We find out a week later he wasn't. Then that's when we find out that he was also having relations with the main suspect. And when confronted by Kimberly about it, he ended up putting his hands on Kimberly. And so when the FBI and the Glacier County sheriffs took over, they didn't even get half of the leads that we gave. And the best part, not the best part, I can't really put it like that, but we did our own investigations, and we're still doing them today. And, we're finding out that's what it takes in order to find our missing loved ones, is we have to do the work ourselves. But that actually came out really good in our favor because of us doing our own investigation. What these police didn't turn in, we had. So we were able to give it to these new cops to hopefully, we could get more answers for her. Lately, we've been posting personal messages we got from suspects on our Facebook page. And we're going to continue doing this until one of them talk. And, but going back to the walk, that's why we want to tell her story and what we're doing and show people what we're doing so other families can find their strength and do the same thing. We worked on a database just on our reservation in Browning, Montana, and we have 48 missing and murdered people alone on that reservation since 1951, the youngest being 7 years old. And Ashley is the only open missing persons case. The rest are either closed murder cases or, like in Matthew's case, the suspects are still walking by you every day. And there's evidence showing, telling what happened to him as well, but nothing's being done. So again, we're going to be having 8 news media coverages there. ESPN, ABC, the Oxygen Network, I believe it's called. There's just many local ones as well. So if you guys know anybody that's close to the area or you're going to be there with a missing or loved one, please have them come out and show their pictures so we can keep them, so we can get justice basically. On June 7th, we're going to be having a poster making night for community or whoever wants to travel to be there with us. And then after that, it's just our ongoing searches. We just received a few more leads, so we're going to be following up on those in June, July, just throughout the summer. But I want to thank everybody for, listening to Ashley's story. And yeah, like her page on Facebook, it's find Ashley Loring HeavyRunner. I can't remember what's right. Ashley Loring HeavyRunner. You can follow everything that we do. We don't put like our active stuff on there, like what we're doing at the moment, but we do, do it later. And again, about Ashley's project, if you guys know anybody or have anybody that you would like us to make a poster about or share, we'll do that because I eventually want to make this a website. Like you guys all heard of NamUs. We actually want to do it for anybody and everybody. It's not going to be somebody where the police tell us, oh, they're out there partying. It's okay, just let them be. We're not going to do that. I don't care if it's an hour after they're not calling you back. Let's get them in the system so that way if it ever happens again, we can have them right there in front of us. We also have an investigator that's been working on Ashley's case. He's somebody that, you know, we thank so much because he's been there with us. And the only thing holding him back from truly helping us is this jurisdiction line. So that's another thing that we're trying to change or get changed throughout searching for Ashley. But he's also willing to help with this Ashley project. He wants to be able to build a system where, you know, he said every police officer has, you know, these phones they go through. If he can get this system, a loved one goes missing, within minutes we'll have it to every cop, everywhere. And the ones who, you know, care will really help us. You know, that's one thing we pray for. But I want to thank you all again, and thank you for letting us share her story and Matthew's story. Thank you, Cedar, Rose. We love you guys.